Alright, so I really want to make an OC. You know, I mean, I just spent like a month making a one-shot, and it took forever, so I wanna chill. I've been making a new story lately. The story is kind of... So I've been reading Doro Vidoro lately, and I just really like the, I don't know, the dirtiness of it, I guess, of the art. And I came up with this world that uses, like, instead of magic or like any kind of shonen energy system, it's like diseases and stuff. It's just called diseases. It's pretty much normal powers, but if they infected people. So like if you have a disease where you can regenerate, you know how you spread diseases in real life, like contact with them or something like that, right? You'll be able to regenerate too until it passes through your system. You can't draw and talk at the same time, whatever. Okay, anyways, this is... Okay, that went off the screen, but his name is Ricket. You know, like rickets, the disease. There's gonna be another character named Flu. Yeah, I've just been naming everyone after, like, diseases and stuff. I'm really leaning into the whole gimmick. Ricket is curious, crafty, oddly charming, and sort of goofy. You know, he's nice. I don't know how to explain it. I've been working on the world a lot, not really the characters as much, so that's kind of mostly what I can talk about right now. But it's very, it's the desert, right? The parts I get from Doro Vidoro is like the crime. I like the crime. Alright, so I like longer faces, because Ricket's kind of energetic, so I want like bigger hair. I don't want to do this, because this is kind of annoying. I don't like it. I did have an idea where you would have some goggles, because desert, right? Goggles. Let's do like a little X on them, because that's fun. I need to write down what I'm saying, because I don't remember what I've said so far. Okay, the whole world is a desert, right? Other than that, it works pretty normally. It gets hot in the day, cold at night, you know? Ricket joined the... I'm currently calling it Bonesaw's Barbecue. Like, I'm just gonna straight up name a character Bonesaw, and he owns the barbecue, and I think that'd be pretty funny. It's a very, is scrap punk the word? Like, kind of Mad Maxian, sort of. I also, like, saw art of organic machinery. I think that's just so cool. Let's see, I'll see if I can, like, actually find the art that I saw. So it was pretty cool, and I thought that'd be a pretty neat thing to have, so I took it. I think that works as a hair shape. I mean, he is an energetic, like, he would do like a big smile. The world is very like dingy and punk and like junkyardy. This looks familiar. I might be copying a character that already exists. Crap. What if, like, you know, it's this part's front and this part's back, you know? I don't know if this reads as anything to the viewers now that I think about it, because this is kind of, this probably seems a bit chaotic. So, like, the plot itself revolves around, so it's heavily inspired by JoJo's Part 8. I might spoil that, a big part of the plot. Anyways, so in JoJo's Part 8, there's something called the Rokakaka, and that's kind of like a fruit that everyone's after. And so I thought, like, in this world, there's all kinds of diseases and stuff. So what if there was a miracle drug? It works on everything. I ended up naming it the Panacea. Because apparently that means, it literally means what it is. I don't know what he'd wear. You know, I actually had an idea. Hold on. I want to see if this works. One of these. And then that doesn't make sense, because I wanted to do, you know, neck covering, because I think those are always cool looking. Because, you know, you're in the desert, right? So you want a lot of light material, but it still covers your whole body. You know, he could have, like, long sleeves, too. Give him, like, a belt there. Wait a second. Doesn't Freerun wear that? Yeah, it's kind of like what Freerun's... Oh my god, it's almost exactly what Freerun's wearing, except for it's not even close, actually. Never mind. Now, what would he pants? Me, I hope. You see, normally when I draw pants, right, I try to avoid drawing pants as much as possible. It could just be like those baggy, I don't even know what they're called, where it's like normally tactical gear. One of these. And then he could have, like, what if I just give him like sneakers? Because it would take place in like early 2000s because I like technology, but I don't like modern technology. So they got like VCRs and flip phones, just because I think that's cool. Were VCRs in the early 2000s? Or did they get kicked out really quick? Sometime in the early 2000s. Okay, so this outfit isn't really fun. I mean, I would do something like that to make it more fun, but still. Needs something else. Needs something to stand out. I could have his belt higher. Oh yeah, what else was there about the world? Oh yeah, so Ricket, did I ever say this? No. Ricket is a chemist. So chemists are the ones who make the diseases and the drugs and all that. And then there's also doctors, right? And doctors are when we do the organic machinery, right? So it's a big desert, right? There's big desert animals like different lizards and snakes and spiders, all that nasty stuff. And so there's gonna be a guy, he turns like a giant bat into a full-on plane, right? But it's still very tight because there's a lot of machinery and stuff. I don't know if the animals would still be alive, but I just thought that'd be really cool. I can't think of a pose. You know, let's just draw his T-pose for now, and then I'll figure out something else to make more of a satisfying end to the video. But I've actually really fallen in love with all the world I made, even if I can't really explain it that well, and the characters I made with it. It's really fun to make up a new story, and then I don't know if anyone here writes, but if you do, you know, when you like write yourself, not into a corner, but like you write something that without much thought, then suddenly like a million things click together and it makes the story a billion times better. It's really satisfying to do that a lot. No, I don't like this. Either needs to be thinner in the middle, or much thicker down there. Need more shape. What's the lore reason he wears giant pants in a desert? Not really sure. Maybe there's like, there's some water in there. It's just carrying around gallons of water in his pants. He's really just getting soggy in there, huh? This is a new setup for me. I moved my mic, so I really hope picking everything up very well. Because if it's not, I'm gonna cry. I think this is a fun silhouette, right? What does it say about him? I don't know. Yeah, I actually think my writing has been very good for Bonesaw's Barbecue, right? Bonesaw's Barbecue and Junkyard. Just because sometimes, right, I would really struggle with getting a consistent theme, but I managed here to nail the like single theme, you know, where you have one main theme. Because, you know, I think a lot of writers do this, but I fell into that trap of like doing so many things where it was harming the story. This is fun, right? It still feels pretty simple. Don't know what I can do. Maybe it's just because of the pose kind of, you know, sucking. I think that'd be a nice color scheme if this was red, brown. What color are these water pants? They could just be gray. Which way is the American way of doing gray? Yeah, let's just choose colors now. Let's just go, you know? Well, this is pretty much what the character looks like. Now I gotta think of like an actual thing. So let's figure out a pose. Do I want to do a full body pose? Or could I just be cute and do a headshot? I have to make a thumbnail. That's what I have to be doing right now. You're so smart, me. Okay, how do I do a thumbnail? What if I have this like as a selfie? I need to turn his entire body. His simple outfit. I have to draw it again. No. Okay, so I got more reference. Yeah, something like that. Wait, hold on. Which side am I? Oh, sorry, I just don't know my rights and lefts. I kind of want to stick his tongue out. You know what? For the first sketch, this ain't too bad. Keep hitting your mic and you're gonna just get a new one. No, I'm not. Why did I say that? His hair, like, is obnoxious and it swoops everywhere. Because he's an obnoxious guy. But he can't control it. He was just born that way. I can do anything. I have a human life in my hands right now. He's an alcoholic now. Let's see, what can I put in the background? Well, if it's like the barbecue. Bones. saw. How do you do the and symbol? Bone saws, barbecues, plus junkyard. There's like, you know, the chain link fences. Looks like he's in prison. You know, I never really thought about it. As an artist, I straight up can just make people. I might do more of this. This might be like maybe I could make multiple OCs. Well, they would all be in this story, this universe. It's been a couple days, and I did the full thing, like you just saw. I'm pretty sure the other day I explained everything in the story very poorly, so I'm just gonna do it again. Before I start talking about that, I wanna talk about this secondary character, Lou. Now she's gonna be the the second protagonist. So the story starts out with Ricket joining the barbecue, but she's been working there for a lot longer. And Bonesaw's Barbecue is a front for like a crime family. Hold on, let me get my notes because I have all their personalities listed and stuff. Alright, so Flu is the mechanic. So she works with all the cars and all the scrap and junk. So she's very creative. Flu is supposed to be like very quick and crafty, right? Like she could throw together a plan really fast, but like Ricket is more, I don't want to say slower, but he's really, everyone's gonna be really smart except for maybe like one character. Ricket's supposed to be like a slower genius, but he's probably in the end smarter, if that makes sense. He's less, I don't know how to explain it. He can prepare a trap or a plan really well. Flu can think on the fly. I think that's how I wanted to say that. I'm just kind of throwing stuff together right now. I saw someone with this hair recently and I was like, yeah, that'd be kind of fun. But yeah, I want her to be like, not necessarily serious. Like all the characters are, at least I think, pretty fun. And everyone's accustomed to the horrible crimes they have to commit constantly. Oh boy, time to play my favorite game. Is my mic picking up voices from the basement? We'll see in editing. You know, for some reason, I feel like whenever I record, I'm worse at drawing. Because like earlier, I was doing sketches and stuff. Yeah, so Flu's gonna be like she's gonna be alternate, as they say. One thing I've been trying to do is avoid same face syndrome. Because I feel like that happens to a lot of people, and I don't want that to happen to me. I don't know exactly how I'm gonna do it, but I just want to try to avoid it however I can. Even when I'm just practicing anatomy, I'm gonna try to do like different faces. My wet hair, I just got a shower by the way. My wet hair, I leaned over and it edited something in my notes, and I don't know what it is. I might have deleted something? What else is there to talk about? I've been coming up with plot. So before I talked about how everyone wants to get the panacea. Everyone wants that, right? So I've been thinking it would be kind of like Steel Ball Run in a way. In Steel Ball Run, everyone wants the corpse parts and the ingredients to the panacea. Everyone's trying to get them. I was thinking about making the president at least one of the villains. Well, okay. Guess who's been rereading Steel Ball Run because of the anime announcement? I'm raising my hand, by the way. I hate eyes. I like the face shape. Alright, piercings. I don't have piercings. I don't know piercing. Eyebrow piercing. You know what? That could be good. That's easy to draw. Septum. I was gonna have a septum piercing on a different character. Yeah, so I've been coming up with more characters actually. So there's gonna be a skeleton man, and he's cool. He has like a disease where he has no flesh or something, or maybe he was experimented on. I don't know yet. I don't know, but I have his design in my head. He's like a skeleton wearing a well, let's see if I can draw a skeleton. You know, some people are just born different, right? Anyways, he's got like spikes on his hat, right? Because I think that'd be really funny. Because, you know, I'm falling like a punk. Nothing is subtle. He could have his name His name isn't Gag, hold on. His name is Gage, because I've had the idea for a skeleton who's like this chaotic good type character. He's just been bouncing around so many stories because I don't know where to put him, right? And then I was like, you know what? He would fit so well into Bonesaw's barbecue. That's kind of the main three. Oh, no. I had another one where they would be like a sort of Frankenstein with like stitches everywhere. That's who I wanted to give the septum piercing to. So she's gonna have a leather jacket, but she has the sleeves rolled up because that's cool. I really like those jackets that have like the side buttons, right? Also, by the way, I do want to point out the fact that I know that they live in a desert. Lots of characters are probably going to be wearing leather, so sucks for them. But I think leather fits the vibe better than anything. So I actually made a whole playlist for Bonesaw's barbecue, right? It's just kind of like what I turn on when I'm thinking of the stuff, right? It's got this, it's a Japanese band, punk, noise rock. They're called Melt Banana. Definitely an acquired taste, but I have acquired that taste, and so I like them. We've got Deftones, Nirvana, Alice in Chains, Pantera, Korn, Limp Bizkit, Slipknot, the usual stuff like that, but it's like very noisy. I also thought of not an arc, it'd be, I think the story would start out sort of episodic, so you could get a sense of normalcy, right? Before the chaos and stuff. But the arc itself is scrap race, I guess. You have to make your own car and then you race it. Something like that. I mean, I can't really decide on colors because it's just black leather. Silhouette-wise, it's kind of fun, but it's not like special. I could figure out a way to go extra with it. So far the story has been kind of influenced by my rereading of JoJo's, right? And I'm like, it'd be so much better if it was just more like Steel Ball Run. I'm kind of working on like trying to figure out some kind of big plot twist I could have. That I feel like making a plot twist should happen a lot later in the writing process. Maybe. I mean, it depends, because on one hand, right, you have everything done, and then you can see what, like, your idea for the plot twist could affect. But if you were to, say, start with the idea of a plot twist, then you could write around that. But that's also kind of what your second draft is for, so I don't know. I'm not sure if I explained the diseases well enough last time, so I'm just gonna do that again. Basically, the main combat, instead of like stance or any other power system, is diseases. Actually, I have an idea. No, I need to talk about the diseases. So there's no limit to what diseases could be. They could either be positive or negative. If they're positive, people will likely just have it on themselves. And in that case, you need to find a cure for it so you can get rid of their buffs in a way, right? Like drink a milk bucket. If it's a negative effect, you have to find a cure for yourself. Or you have to fight around it, something like that, right? And so far in terms of plot, things are very JoJo-like, because it's just easier to make things like villain of the week rather than just constant plot. Anyways, I'm gonna show you my idea now. So there's this character from Marvel Comics. I'm a comic nerd, by the way. There's this character from Marvel Comics called Elsa Bloodstone. She wears orange. Very bright and distinct orange. And I think that's really fun. So you might see where I'm going with this. On the drawing I did for Ricket, right? I forgot to add the fact that he had lots of pouches, because pouches, they contain what? They contain drugs, because he's a chemist, he makes the drugs, he uses the drugs. Finally got that sentence out. What does Elsa Bloodstone have other than orange leather, or just bright orange in her design? Because in a lot of these, Elsa's costumes are orange, black, and brown. Could I incorporate brown maybe into the pants? It's okay. It's fine, dare I say. Is it enough? You know what? Actually, I think in some of these designs of Elsa Bloodstone, she has some neck covering, which is on the wrong layer. Does this make sense? I don't want to do another, like, full background. That was really annoying. I should probably also talk about what I did for Ricket picture. At first, I tried just doing hatching, only hatching for the shading, and then that didn't work, and then I did normal shading, and then I thought it was okay, and then I did hatching and normal shading. I feel like if I practiced all that technique more, I could get it to work pretty well. Maybe I could do an extreme close-up and I don't have to actually do anything. I could do something with her in her garage, some kind of scene. Oh, and this seems like a really annoying angle, and yet I'm doing it. I'm gonna have to draw a car in this angle? No, it doesn't have to be a car. It could be like one of her custom cars. It doesn't have to be like a I don't know cars. I'm sorry, I just don't want to draw that angle. I don't. Like, I'm fine with drawing Blue at that angle because I'm more used to drawing humans. I personally don't draw car lifts all that often. It's a step up. Is that a thing in garages? I feel like it should be. You know, like you have the actual garage door, right? And then, you know, you step up. Okay, so this angle it feels legitimate. Something feels wrong. I don't know what it is. Oh, I need to learn how to draw backgrounds if I want to make manga. Oh, there's those garages that have like, they have sometime garages. They have like separations and stuff, so I can do that. It'll have a little light peeking through. I'll just put that there to remember that. I'm not gonna. I also think I decided on what my next one-shot's gonna be. It's probably gonna be before I watched Howl's Moving Castle recently, and I've just been wanting to make something that feels magical, so I might do one of thems. Right now it's kind of like a story about a wizard opening a cafe for spirits, but it might change. Oh crap, do I want a car in here? Oh, I have to draw a car at a slight angle. What a nightmare. Let's think about it like this. The car fits in this box, and this box is at the correct angle. I messed up the angle. I don't want to draw a car, and we both know I will. Now, if this doesn't look like a car, I don't know what does. What do cars look like? Is this what a cars looks like? Is this a cars? I don't know. Okay, no more meandering. Let's just draw Flu. She's kind of the main thing you're supposed to be drawing. Is this a good time to say I've never drawn a human being at this angle? So sometimes I hang my arm off of my bed, but the elbow be getting in the way of it bending. Doesn't matter if the sizes are correct, I'm gonna cover it with a giant leather jacket. Should I make a lore reason everyone wears leather? Or is it simply because it's cool? It's simply because it's cool. I'm gonna be honest, I feel like I'm missing something. It feels like it's supposed to not make sense, but for some reason it is making sense, and that bothers me because I feel like it just means I'm missing what doesn't make sense. Whenever I draw a hand, I always have to... Wait, that's her left hand. No, it isn't, that's her right. I always have to pose the same hand in a similar fashion because I'm always so worried that I'm gonna draw the wrong hand. Because it happened so many times before where I put the thumb on the wrong side and then it's like, that sucks. Oh yeah, so she definitely has muscle, right? Because she's a mechanic. Let's make her forearm a little thicker. Well, okay, it shouldn't be thicker than than the goat surrounding. And she likes music. I could give her like headphones or something. She has in-ear headphones because I like having the power of a cannon in my hands. Well, not a cannon, you know, the cannon, not the cannon. I mean, what's real? I can shape reality. How do you draw a nose like this? Wait, which way is up? You know, if there's any, like, artists more attuned to, anatomy than I am watching this, I'm so sorry. That kind of makes it look like it kind of makes it looks wrong. Now that just kind of looks like shadows, but it's okay. So she can make her own clothes, so why don't we have like patchwork pants? That makes it more of a fun design, you know, rather than just jorts. Oh, what a fool I used to be half an hour ago. Gotta be rewind, stop. No, it's good. Yeah, that works. Obviously, very warm color right here, right? And then everything else will be like blues and purples. She's wearing like 3 pounds of leather. In the desert. In summer. It might be summer, I don't know. The story is going to take place over a few years, probably. That was just a random decision I made. That has no weight. This has potential. I hope I don't mess it up. Here's the render. Whoa! I haven't done it yet, but it's probably so good. Yeah, subscribe. Like the video, comment if you want. Alright, see you next time. Bye.